All right, welcome everybody. Welcome. 20th August over here, Friday. Week is about to end. A lot of people are glad the week is ending. A lot of people are kind of like bummed out because you couldn't make your losses back, but it is what it is. Hey Raja, your hair looks good today. Thank you, appreciate it. New hair coming out. Just woke up from my nap. Okay, let's see. Let's take a look over here. Time to finish the week. Yes. So let's do some fresh analysis here. Gold is obviously kind of like, looks like we're coming up on gold. Oh, we basically broke down on gold over here as well. Interesting. All right, let's take a look at, what's this? Hello, love from India. Oh, nice. All right, so let's take a look at pound yen off of the daily time frame. Daily did continue moving down. Sent the analysis later on that earlier on we could move down. We are moving down at this point. 4-hour time frames move down. 1-hour time frames move down, but we're kind of like, I guess, pound yen is not a good trade idea here today, because like we moved down, we kind of like hippity scotched ourselves down, kind of like tiptoed its way down, and it's just ugly ranges at this point. Very bad ranges at this point. So you can see I'm like identifying lower highs over here. We had a lower high over here, price came down. We had a lower high, price came down, made a lower high and went down again. So right now we're in a range, 20 pip range. Within this range we have smaller ranges. Not a good range at this point, right? Then again, above this area we have another resistance 13 pips away. Not a good range at all. Above this area 149.650, 20 pip range, probably a good range, but so these are just going to be no trade ranges over here. No trade zone. I'm going to copy it. And then there's going to be another one, no trade zone over here. We have a bunch of no trade zones at this point. All right, let's take a look at this chart here by Vincent. My analysis on pound yen. Let's take a look at this over here. Clean sells below this area, clean candle to the left hand side, all the way down to 148.700. Looks good. No trade range except fake outs. That's true. Clean buys. I think if you look on the 30-minute, it's going to be much better, right? Clean buys right over here. Above 149.650 looks good. We got clean candle to the left hand side. All this area is just mess. Just straight mess, to be honest. Very messy, you know what I'm saying. But if you take a look to the left hand side, we need to see, here we have clean candles over here to the left hand side now. This was back in 20th July actually, not that long ago. So looking on the 4-hour time frame, actually looking on the 30-minute time frame now. Let's go back here. So we have clean candles moving all the way down to 148.650. Potentially price can continue down. So I think this is going to be a pretty good support to break. 149, 180 for price to continue. Yeah, we have a pretty big range over here. So it looks good. This actually looks very good over here. Awesome. Looking at gold, however, let's take a look at gold on a daily time frame. Daily, I was hoping that the daily candle is gonna kind of like break below and continue down to fill this wick, but essentially we're not. We're kind of like consolidating at this point now. Looking on the 4-hour here as well, you can see how it's just in a range over here. This entire area on gold is a big range, huge range. This area right over here. So what we gotta do is we gotta take a look at like what will make much more sense. I think anything above 1793. 1795, anything above 1795 would make much more sense for price to continue up, or like anything below 1775 would make much more sense. So yeah, above this area and below this area would make much more sense, because now when you look to the left hand side you have all this clean range for price to continue in, right? Looking to the left hand side here as well, you have kind of like a choppy range, but still it's pretty clean than what we have currently going on between 1795 and 1776. So let's take a look here. What's this? Good morning. Did you make peace with London streams? And continue with NY, or will you switch as time suits? Yeah, I'll switch as time suits me best. You know, right now, New York is suiting me better, so we're gonna do this. All right. So looking at the 1 hour time frame, 30-minute time frame, I don't think there's anything particular that catches my interest, apart from the fact that this 30-minute candle, it made a liquidity wick, huge exhaustion wick, went bullish. So we may continue moving bullish till 1787. But so far I don't see any potential entries at this point. Unless we can retest this consolidation area at 1783. Then it would make sense for price to continue up. But again, it's like a 29, 30 pip range, so we'll see what happens. Not really looking to take a trade here on Friday anyway, so just like kind of like, you know, sitting back and can you check that loss? All right, so I'm going to check that loss, and I expect to see some sort of note what you could have done better. So let's see if we see that here or not. Okay, so there's number one, there's no numbering over here, so it's confusing from the get-go. Close below area, kind of doji created, it goes little profit but goes to stop loss after that. See, so there's no note here that could tell us what you could have done better. And the more you don't put those notes, the longer you're going to stay in the same position you are right now. There's going to be no improvement. Absolutely no improvement. So probably there were these rejections right here, right? Because as price comes into these rejection areas, it's more highly likely to reject, you know. So maybe you could have looked for a sell below here, below 1777. So again, when you take a loss, just don't say, hey, I took a loss. Put some notes. Put some notes to say, why do you think you took that loss? You know, you have to write that down. Why do you think you took that loss? That's very, very important. Yeah, there were a lot of rejections over here. So, can we trust the 5-minute on gold? You can because gold has a lot of volume, and when a pair has a lot of volume, it's kind of like borderline okay to look at the small time frames, like the 5-minute time frames. But I was just looking at the 1 hour time frame, and I was looking to see how the 1 hour broke the previous low, and now it's breaking the high, and we got like 20 minutes left for the candle to close. What's the probability that this 1 hour candle can close bullish and the next 1 hour candle can continue on moving up, correcting this entire move from the London session? Get it? So that's actually what I'm kind of like looking into at this point, to correct this entire move that we had in the London session. What do you think about ADA chart? I have no idea. Hey, what is the website you use to check stocks today? I don't check stocks, sorry. Are you using MT4 or MT5? I'm using MT5. Raja is not white today. No, wearing a dark gray today. So yeah, that's the whole idea. I mean, the 1 hour candle, I think there's a very good possibility you can continue bullish, because if we had to move down, we should have stayed below this area, right? We should have stayed below this area, but we did not stay below this area. What candle did is it broke the low of the previous candle. It created a liquidity wick, went back in the range, broke the high over here. So now you got to ask yourself a question: what's the probability if it broke the high? There's a high probability. What's the probability it's going to continue moving bullish as we move into pre-New York volume? And I think there's a very, very high probability, provided it does close above, you know, 1783, especially on the 30-minute time frame, 15-minute time frame. Is there a time in past you anticipated London volume to break zones and resistance and you ignored that fact, the range upside down less than 20 pips? I don't understand the question. Maybe you're overthinking at this point, or I don't understand. How risky do you think is entering a counter trend? I think counter trend is very, very risky. It's very risky, counter trend. But also, like, it depends on what type of a chart you're looking at. Was the primary trend strong and you're looking at a small move? I'm referring to your past trades from 2021. Is there a time you don't look at range and simply buy or sell? No. I used to do that. I used to look at small ranges and take buys and sells, but then I stopped it. Oh, made just over 4,000 using your streams. Are you jealous or proud of me? I'm actually proud of you, but I'm also jealous because I didn't make nothing. All right, what's going on over here? Yeah, we should be correcting this move over here. 15-minute time frame is also moving up. Candle's about to close in like a minute. 35 more pips. But ideally, if it's a Friday, I would want to see some sort of a retest for price to continue. Are you up for the month? Yes. I have around 700 euro to trade. Should I first start trading with 100 to 150 euro and see how emotional I get? Yes. Start with 100 to 150. When looking at GJ, when not to look for retest? You should always look for a retest. All the time, you should look for a retest. The only reason you should not look for a retest is if you've seen price move, let's say for about 4 months, 5 months, and then you have some sort of a statistical data that if price does move without a retest, what's the probability of you taking that trade and winning that trade? And that's called an impulse entry. So you have to really watch how price moves without a retest live. So it takes like 4 months, I'd say like 3 months, 4 months, something like that. Do you think NY is better than London session? I'm more comfortable in the NY session than I am in the London session. So, some people are better in London and some people are better in New York. The reason I ask is because sometimes I see GJ paint big candles to break above the small ranges they ever have, and I just sit one side and think I missed a trade. Yeah, so if you think if you missed a trade, you gotta take a look at that and see how you could have been a part of that trade. Do you think it's high probability that GJ will fill the daily wick? I don't. Well, it should. I think that depends on next week. Because this weekly candle is going to close, and since we have 10 hours left for the candle to close, so we have to identify whether this weekly candle is going to continue pushing down or will it move up to leave a wick. If the weekly candle moves up to leave a wick, that means the smaller price action should continue bullish, right? If the weekly candles are going to continue pushing down, then that means on the smaller time frames we should continue pushing bearish, but we don't have any confirmation yet. All right, there we go. Gold has closed. This is the 15-minute time frame over here. Candle is still open. 1 hour candle is about to close. The question is, should I wait for this candle to close and execute on the next 1 hour candle, or I should wait for this candle to close, and then if the opportunity presents itself on the next 1 hour candle, I think I should execute on the next 1 hour candle. That makes sense. What pattern setups do you take? I don't trade patterns. I trade price action. Ooh, that's pretty cool. Got a $5 million line of credit over here. Oh, damn. Check this out. Cool 7 figures over here. 5 million. So got one account right here. This is my regular account. 479. This is my, yeah, this is a payment account. Credit, which the liquidity gives you 5 million. Crazy. If we keep up the good work, we may get up to 10 million. Damn, insane. It's there. That's there in case things go bad, and then, you know, they have the credit that you can use to pay out people. I wonder if you have considered swing trading. How does it work out for you? Swing trading worked out pretty well. Swing trading worked out really well, but it takes time. You know, swing trading takes time, takes a lot of mental capacity. I think swing trading works well when you're up for the week. Let's say, so the way I did swing trades were, if I was up for the week, let's say by Wednesday, then I would take a 4-hour time frame trade and hold the entire thing. You know, because I would still be overall in profits at that point. Do you always trade order blocks? No, I don't trade order blocks. I call Raja my mentor even though we never engaged directly. Well, we just did. I watched the live stream for almost 1 year and learned a lot. Now I have a $400,000 FTMO account. I achieved it with your style. Oh, amazing. No, I'm asking overall, bro, not on gold. My ideal setup is this right here. So let's say we have support and we have resistance, right? So this is my ideal setup. We have support, we have resistance, and then we have a candle that's pushing bullish, right? Pushing bullish, really strong uptrend on 30-minute time frame. And then all of a sudden, there's a bearish move over here. Price comes down, price comes more down, price comes down. And then we start creating a support, right? Once we start creating a support like this, this is going to be the point where I'm taking a buy. I'm taking a buy at this point, anticipating the next candle to continue up to fill this range and then to continue breaking this resistance to continue bullish. This is my ideal setup that I trade all the time. If I see this, I just trade this all the time because my odds of winning this setup are way higher than losing this setup. I understand that, right? Because there's an 80% chance I'm always going to win this setup. So it's the odds. That's it. That's it. It's relative risk. It's the odds of winning the setup. That's it. So this happens only when price is trending really high. Just like we had yesterday, right? Yesterday, we had something like this, right? Look, price came down, made a low right here. Price retraced, candle closed bearish, created resistance. We made a lower high. And now there's an 80% chance that price is going to continue down to retest the low it just created right here. And that's what happened. Price moved down. Perfect setup. Why don't you connect your regular account to your copy trade dominion? Looks like you set up other account to make other lose in your broker. No, it's not that. Trading other people's money is a whole nother thing, and it's very difficult. And if you think we did that on purpose, then you know people can just unfollow me. And how much have we lost? 2%. I've lost 2%. That's it. Let's take a look over here. Anyone trading US30 here? Oh, there are guys trading US30. But that account was not set up to make you money. You know, there are people who are actually following that account on the leaderboard thinking they will make money. You will not make a single fucking dime, you know. So if you think that's your idea, just don't follow that. You're dumb if you think that you can follow that account and make money. You can't. And if you think that it's purposely done to lose money on the brokerage, what about the live streams we do, right? What about the winning trades we call out every day? There are guys on the brokerage, they're still taking those winning trades and winning all the time. What about that then? You know, you have to really have an open mind and think about both perspectives. Like, what are you actually talking about? You know, that's why at the end of the day, that account is called C'est la vie. C'est la vie means such as life. If that account loses, such as life. You know, so you take your own risks, right? You take your own risks. If you're going to cry about losing money, you're probably not going to be cut out for trading. Got to break it out for you. All right, let's take a look over here. Pound yen, a risky trade. I'm surprised that came from someone from market fluidity, man. Incredible. Price began to resistance. Took a sell as price broke down right over here. 30-minute candle global close. Oh, nice. Very nice. It was kind of risky. You know, price was jumping up and down, but still got it. For some reason, when I input risk as 2% of magic keys, it only shows risk near 3% when modifying my any. I think contact magic keys. Yeah. Contact magic keys, and then you're going to know more about it.
Roger, I got a quick question.
Yo.
The setup that you like to take, you don't add extra confluence with structure. Like the setup that you showed earlier, it didn't break structure. You said you like to see a nice bullish push and then a pullback to retest the lows and then to break the previous candle. You wouldn't like it to make a break of structure.
No, I would want it so that bullish push should be like the overall trend. You know, the daily should be bullish, 4 hour should be bullish, all time frames should be bullish, and then we have that, like, you know, like a retest for price to continue moving back up.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's like trading the trend. Are you already take a buy on gold? No, not yet. Candle's about to close in 6 minutes. I do believe this can continue bullish. Your price action strategy is about 30-minute candles breaking support or resistance and taking buy or sell at the break of the high with clean candles to your left hand side. Yes. And during times when there's volume in the market, like pre-New York, New York Open, NYSE, so on and so forth. Alright. Let's take a look at this over here. We got a chart by Danny Wikaksono. Your USD. Ooh, nice. You got a buy down over here. Price is moving up. TP1 is right here. TP2 is up there. Yeah, pretty good. I think this can play out if we break above this resistance you have at TP1. Pretty scary area since we have a lot of consolidations over here. Let's take a look at the Chinese indicator. Ooh, Chinese indicator is saying gold should continue bullish since USD is getting stronger. Pound is weak. Yen is strong. Pound yen should continue bearish. Oh, it looks like it is kind of trying to continue bearish. It's like iPhone is getting angry over here. Let's see. I catch big wins sometimes, but many small losses keep me in the red. What do you suggest I do? I think you should look to see, are you really over trading? You know, like, what are you doing if you have many small losses? I passed the FTMO account from learning your live, so thank you so much. Oh, congratulations. Why do you not start streaming on Twitch? We did start streaming on Twitch, and then we got banned. So that's why we moved to YouTube. How to register for the upcoming event you're hosting? It's going to be, the link is going to be up tomorrow morning, Pakistan time. Yes, tomorrow morning. Yeah, I think gold is going to continue moving up towards 1787. We can tap into that. $17.87. Candle's about to close here as well. Is the reason your USD is claimed to be the most manipulated pair, is it because it's not suitable for scalping, or the price action doesn't make sense? I just don't look at that pair at all, so you need to create your own judgment when you look at your USD. I didn't scroll that much down, so I thought there were only winning accounts on the leaderboard, but man, there are 2 pages of them. Yes. How did you get banned on Twitch? That's a long story. Someday we're going to talk about that. Why did you relocate from Canada? I don't know. Wanted to buy some land. So cheap land over here, good appreciation. So I think that was a good business move. Please start NY Session Live. You are in NY Session Live, Nitro Gaming. Come on. Come on, man. Pound yen is pretty heavy at the support over here, 149, 200. Gold continues to push bullish. Looks like if it doesn't make a wick and continues bullish, probably going to miss this trade. There's a Forex Expo on 29th, 30th September. What do you say about that? Nothing. What should I say about that? I mean, you want to go? Just go. You know, I mean, I don't know. I mean, cool. That's cool. He started to dance in a live stream. Twitch thought it was too sexy. Can you tell the name of the book you were telling some days before? It's called 10 Essentials of Trading. Alright, let's take a look over here. This is very bullish for days. Retrace a bit, wait to create support. Yes, so this would be perfect. Create a support, break the highs to continue bullish to retest the high. This would be the perfect setup to take. ABD dollary, Canada dollary. Yeah, USD dollar and Canada dollar. That would be the perfect setup. In your course videos, Raja keeps on saying Rakeel made presentation. Didn't know both of you are a different person. Yeah. So this is Raja over here, and Rakeel is the one who makes all the presentations. Let's take a look at this over here. This is probably for someone else. How do we join your Zoom sessions? They are secret. Friday, as it is tough to trade, took trades in GU in London session, took early exits as I was not comfortable. Very, very good. That is absolutely good idea right there. Fridays are days where you look over how, oh wow, this is just garbage, man. This is not good at all. Look at this. Support, it's just garbage. Look at this consolidation, just yuck. Can't do nothing over here. What's your thoughts on drop shipping? I mean, it's good. If it works, it works. All right, so we got the 1 hour candle closing over here. Now, ideally, I would want this 1 hour candle to wick down, make a lower wick, continue up, and then I'll take a buy, and then price can continue moving bullish till 1787. That's going to be the perfect trade for me to take. Yep, that's going to be the perfect trade for me to take. But I got to be wary about this area over here, 1784, 1785. Let's see here. Let's take a look at this chart. This chart is this one should close below support with a wick. Next one I should make a wick and then drop small after breaking plus entry. Yeah, it looks good. Waiting for price to break below this area to continue down. 149, 200 right here. Potential sells below 149, 200. Yep, that'll be a very, very good idea. How do we get market fluidity in Pakistan? How do we get market fluidity in Pakistan without shipping? There's nothing to ship. It's all online. What do you want us to ship? Ship your computer? Here, it's online on this computer. How do you know why is CAD so... do you know why CAD is so weak right now? Do I know why CAD is so weak right now? Fundamentally speaking, honestly, I have no idea fundamentally why CAD is weak, because I no longer live in Canada. I have no clue what's going on in Canada. But technically speaking, let's take a look over here. Oh wow, CAD is pretty weak over here. Damn. I think it's based off of oil. Is oil dropping? Oh yeah, oil is dropping. Probably that's why CAD is weak, because oil is dropping. That could be it then. All right. Glad this week is coming to an end over here. This week has been a catastrophe. This whole August has been a catastrophe. Can't wait for this August to just end. Damn. This week has been nuts. Gold coming up, buy stop set. Oh, let's see over here. Are the market maker, Raja, are the market maker when gold hit 2000? I have no idea what you're talking about. Market makers don't sit around and look for your stop losses, guys. Trust me. Market makers aren't looking to stop you out of your $100 account or $500 accounts. Just that's not how it works. If a candle closes below support and the next candle breaks the low without making a high, are you taking a sell or stay away from this trade? I would stay away from this trade, but let's see what happens over here. Got to move up here a little bit to execute a buy. Stop is going to be around 1783, somewhere over here. 1783 right here. Oh wow, look at that. We're moving and grooving over here now. Very nice, very nice. Took an entry right here. Should continue on till about 1787 here in gold. 1 hour candle, 4 hour time frame. 4 hour time frame is tricky because it broke the low over here, but smaller time frames we have clean candles to the left hand side. Up about 2 pips here on gold. Gonna manage my risk as price comes down, and looking at price to continue till 1788. So we'll see how well this plays out. All right, let's take a look at this chart over here. This is GA. GA candle closed back in the range. Okay, yeah, makes sense. Fake out, and looking at price to continue moving down. This looks pretty nice, actually. Very nice. Pretty good analysis. Probably right over here would make sense as well for price to continue down. Beautiful. Do you have support info for Magic Keys? I couldn't find a way to get support for it. Any info? Well, yeah. I mean, you go to magickeys.trade, and then you scroll all the way down. You're probably going to get some contact us right here. Go to contact. You go to contact, and then you can send an email right there. That's the support. Or if you don't want to do that, what you can do is you can go to community forum. This is where we have, you know, some known issues. No device when plugged in, you know, so you have some issues which are already talked about, so you can look at that as well. We have all kinds of support. You know so well the way a trade, it's supposed to play out when it's a winning trade. So whenever it doesn't feel right, you don't hesitate to exit. So that makes your RR better just by managing risk. Yes, that's correct. Let's see here. I'm in Canada looking for a commission job. Any advice? Yes. If you're in Canada and you're looking for a commission job, this is who you should contact. This guy right here. I'm going to post this link in the chat. Contact this guy right here. Amazing, amazing, amazing guy. I made my first $100,000 in less than, I'd say, 4 months working with this guy. Not even kidding, you know. So this is when they were working in Texas last year, and now they're back in Ontario hiring and just working away. It's a hard job though. It's a hard job. It's not easy because you're going door to door, but it's commissions only. But yeah, go hit up this guy and tell him Raja sent you. When you message him, tell him specifically, "Hey man, Raja sent me," and then he's gonna work out. What's this over here? Are these one of his deposits? No, nothing. He hit it. But yeah, tell him Raja sent you. Do you think the way your trade tends to work better in London or NYSE session? I think NYSE session. I think NYSE session works way, way better. So we can look right over here. It's still open right now. So, you know, we'll see. Clean candles on the 1 hour time frame. 4 hour. Ooh, 4 hour looks like a doji over here. What should I look at the 4 hour? Should I look at 4 hour over here, or should I look at 4 hour on this one right here? I'm gonna stay with my. I'm gonna stay with the 1 hour, 30 minute, 15 minute. Also looks good. So we'll see. Are you in gold buys? I mean, I don't know. I mean, do you think so? Do you think we have gold buys open at this point? I mean, I don't know. I think I have sells open at this point. Yeah, we're in USD ruble sells. INR JPY buys. The guy is answering the same question every day, that London is better than New York. New to your stream, Ruji Noor. New to your session, message on Insta, but want to join or learn whatever it is you provide. I think before looking into joining something or paying for a course or whatever, it's better to spend some time on the live streams, right? I would say whoever thinks about joining first, I always tell them this: hey, listen, spend some time on the live streams, spend about a week, 2 weeks on the live streams, you know, and you will definitely learn something from the live streams. If you do, awesome, you know. If you don't, or like, you know, you need some more help, then obviously you can join, but I never push people to join. I think the best thing is the live streams. You can learn a lot from the live streams. Do you recommend living in Canada? Yeah, I think it's an awesome place. All right. Oh, retracing over here. Yes, okay. Did you leave Canada because of this leftist policies? Yes. What time frame do you draw your support resistance area? 30-minute time frame, 1 hour time frame. You know, 30-minute, 1 hour time frame. So let's see over here. That's kind of like, so if price heads towards right here, 7,800, 13. Looking at the 15-minute time frame. Can't manage risk here at all. Can't manage risk here at all. This August month, you have no jackpot trade? No, I have no jackpot trade in August. I had a jackpot loss yesterday. Are you going to merge your personal account with leaderboard account? No, I'm not going to do that, because sometimes I take big risks on my personal account. Like yesterday, I had a $9,000 loss, and if that was on a leaderboard account, people would get mad as fuck. They would say, "Oh, he did this on purpose," you know. So I'm not just whatever. That leaderboard account is just an experiment. It's an experiment to see if I can do the leaderboard account with other people following me or not, because it's a lot of pressure. You know, when you trade your own money, it's very, very easy. It's stress-free. But when you have other people's money on there, when you know they know it's you there, that's a totally different ball game, man. Totally, totally, totally different. But August has been pretty difficult here to begin with. Did you take gold buy on your account? Yeah. Are you considered a day trader or scalper? Scalping, mostly scalping, I would say. What are good brokers to trade if I live in Alberta? Thanks in advance. They're pretty good brokers out there. Like, the options are limited for Canadians. Black Bull markets, I'd say they're good. Traders Domain is pretty good. You can look into that. Dominion Markets is pretty good. I've been with that platform for about 4 months now. What is the best volume months? Farzana Begum, I think you can ask the question by just typing it once. You don't have to just fucking spam the chat over here every time you ask a question. Sell executed. All right, let's take a look at this chart over here. Let's take a look at this chart. This is sell on US 500. Bullish momentum entry once 1 hour candle closed under kind of clean range to left. So secured 95% once. Oh, nice. Very nice. So you manage risk over here. Very, very nice. What's the most you've made on a trade? I think it was like close to 150,000. This was like 3 years ago. Actually, let me check over here. Let's take a look. Let's take a look here since we've had this open. Let's take a look. So let's go to entire history. So, ooh, the biggest loss I've had is like 9,000. This was yesterday. 19th August. This was yesterday. 9,000. Biggest win was 60,000. Oh yeah, this was a sell on gold. I remember this one. Damn. This is what people on Instagram show you. They only show you all wins. Then they say, oh hey, look, I have all wins. This is what they show you all the time. All wins. They don't show you normal history where they have a bunch of losses there too. Looks pretty cool if I just show this. Hey guys, join my program because I have all wins all the time.
Roger, how come your thing doesn't arc and combine lot size? I never seen that before.
I don't know. I think that's on MT4 or something.
Okay, maybe. Okay.
Was your loss yesterday on gold? Yes. Yes.
What are you doing? A swing off the 4 hour?
Nah, I took a buy yesterday on gold and expected it to continue moving, but it came down. I want to close half, but then I was like, no, it's gonna go up, and it came down more, and I was like, whatever. Yeah, August has just been tough, super tough. Like now, gold is moving pretty nicely, so that's a relief right here. Of about 6 pips. Should continue till about 4 more, 3 more. Imagine starting to trade with the group in August. That's me. Yeah, imagine someone starts trading in August. They're like, what the fuck is this? You know, no one's winning. Everyone's losing. Even the mentor is losing all the time. Yeah, that'll be hilarious. Can you explain how did you took gold entry and lose it, and which lesson did you learn? The lesson I learned was to follow my rules, which was to cut losses short. I didn't cut my losses short. Oh, this month has been one of my best months. Oh, nice. Yeah, that's amazing, man. Very nice. Me last year, so next year I know I'm taking a holiday in August. What do you think about AI bots taking over the trading thing? And if it happens, how will that affect the retail traders who make a living out of it? I don't know. I don't think AI bots will have anything so much to do with this. So I just closed half right over here because price went in profits and came back to my entry point. So I closed half. Yeah, I think that's a very good decision to do, which I didn't do yesterday. Ooh, the way it's rejecting this consolidation, probably gonna close another half over here. So yeah. Hey man, how do you know when to enter on impulse? I mean, how do you know it's a good time to have an impulse entry? Experience. You know, I've been looking at impulse entries for about a year now. I started executing on them after I looked at them for about 4 months. So It's very difficult. I mean, when there's volume, price breaks out of resistance, and you're anticipating the next candle to to break the high. That's when you should look for an impulse. Now that explanation is a very rough explanation, so you really got to look at things more. Hi, how Dominion markets work if we subscribe? If you subscribe to a, let's say, a master account, and if they make profits, you make profits, and then the master accounts have some fees, and those fees get taken off the profits you make. When you are closing half, someone is adding another lot. Yes, that's correct. Oh wow, look at this, 1.3% on gold buy. Good enough for me on Friday or any day of the matter. See you guys, amazing man. Kevin J, beautiful done. Beautiful. Are you fasting today? No, it was yesterday. I have been consistently profitable on demo account. What should I do next? I think just continue that demo account if you want. Maybe go to live account. Have you reduced your lot size? No, it's been the same lot size. Did you build your Forex account or make a regular deposit over the 5 years? Yes, I made regular deposits. And pound yen is just consolidating over here. Damn. Why Dominion market is KYC is 3 and 4 steps? There's only 3 steps. There are no 4th step. How many down months do you have in a year? And is this normal or trader should only have up months? Having down months is very normal. My first week of August was amazing. Super duper amazing. And then everything just went down the drain after that. I have no idea what happened. It just went down the drain. What lot size should be good for a $1,000 account? I said like 10-cent lots. Pretty good, 10-cent lots. I blew my demo account. Any advice? Well, good thing you're not gonna cry by blowing your demo account. That's good. I think 2 times is better for spamming. Oh. Alright. Man, Gulag is on fire on Friday. Every Friday. Yeah, looks like we're rejecting that area there on gold. Managing my risk over here. We broke the minor support on the 5-minute time frame. Gonna close another half. Do you know Omar Ashraf? Yes, I do know him. They're actually building a house 10 minutes away from where I live at this point, so that's pretty cool. Would sell on gold make sense if a 30-minute candle breaks the low of the current one? If this 30-minute candle breaks the low of the previous one, I don't think sell would make sense. I would think that this is a high created for price to come down to create some sort of support to continue pushing up. You know, the only way I think sells could work is if we break below 1781. That's what I personally believe. You know, so if someone wants to, like, you know, work around that, so be it. But like, that's what I personally believe. I'm surprised you took that buy when I was breaking within the first 10 minutes of the arc.
So Roger, because this is what I'm seeing too. I'm looking at sells on gold because I see we pushed up, broke all that market structure to the downside. Now we're at a resistance on the 30 minutes right here. So if we break that 30 minutes low once it's closed, I think sales should be good. Back down to the previous support.
Like back down to 1781. Is that what you think?
Yeah, that's what I'm looking at right now.
So I think the price came up and it rejected around 1785, which was rejection area here to begin with. But just by looking at the 4-hour here now, 4-hour is just in a clear consolidation area here. Yeah, I was just hoping would get this move up here in the smaller time frames to get this scalp, but probably gonna close this entire trade off at this point. Actually, no, I'm gonna leave this open. It's only 4 lots over here. So this is gonna be, what's this? 500, 500 plus 600, 1,000, 1,100. Yeah, that's it. Not really gonna jump the guns here on Fridays. So close another half, and just gonna chill out for the rest of the session over here. Yo, Raja, thank you, bro. I hit up your guy on Instagram and let him know you sent me. Oh, nice. Very nice. Raja sent you. How would you take the London move trade if you were trading at the time? Well, which pair are we talking about, please? How would we know it's time to cut your lot size when entering impulse? That depends on experience and if you've really been fucked over by the markets a lot of times. So you then learn to maybe, all right, maybe this is the time to just cut your losses. And I've learned that now. When price goes against me, it breaks low. I'm just like, all right, Raja Banks, time to just cut the loss over here, and you just cut it. You don't hope for it to go back up. You don't think it's going to go back up. You cut out any feels. Oh, I feel like it should go back up. No, you don't. You just cut it short. Cut that shit off. I see in a 1 hour there is a lower high, lower low, and now higher high and a higher low, which means gold is still buy. Yeah, that's fine. If gold is still a buy, that's why I have a smaller lot size running at this point now. Because if this would still go up, that's fine. If it comes down and hit my stop loss, that's fine. Overall, 4 hours just consolidating here anyway. So I think next week we can break out of this entire consolidation. Swing traders are probably looking at this and saying, oh, these retard scalpers, what the hell are they doing over here? 4 hours just consolidating. Just dumb retards over here trying to take buzz. But yeah, it is what it is. Just like pound yen over here, just nothing. Did your previous August go? It was okay. Previous August was pretty okay. Better than this one over here. I started 50,000 funding account in August, got massacred by the markets. At the last day, I planned to put 30 lots on gold to win or lose the challenge. Yeah, I think that's pretty good. Yeah, I think that's a pretty good idea. Last day, just full margin. Let's see what happens. Yeah, I think I should do that. I should start a $50,000 funding account from one of the companies, and on one account just take full margin gold buys and full margin gold sells on one of them. And if we win big. If we lose, we just lose a small account. Yeah, I think that would be fun. Should we use indicators or just focus on price action? I think focusing on price action is going to be much better than using indicators. Impulse entry is a totally different skill to master. That's absolutely true. I'm still learning a lot about impulse entries, to be honest. Why would you prefer scalping over intraday and swing? Because I'm much better of a scalper than I am of a swing trader, even though in swing trading you can make more money with 1 to 2% risk. But when I first started, so I tried like a lot of ways to trade, right? I tried swing trading, Fibonacci's, Bollinger Bands. To be honest, there was one way we were trading, and this was the divergence off of RSI and MACD. We did that. Stochastics did that. EMAs, I did that. And I wanted to get these 100 pip moves, 200 pip moves. I was taking trades based on a daily time frame, weekly time frame to get these big trades. Never worked. Nothing fucking worked ever. But the only common thing with all my losses was that all the time my trades would always go in 10 to 15 pip profits, and then I would look at that, I'm like, okay, perfect, we're in profits. I'm okay now, and then after a while, that whole shit is going to go deep in drawdown, and that was the common theme with all my losses that I tried to take for, like, 100 pips, and I realized that, hey, wait a minute, if all my trades are going into 10 to 15 pip profits, like, most of the time, 80% of the time, that means I can secure 10 to 15 pip profits 100% of the time, right? And then just let the rest run. And that's when I was just like, okay, perfect. 10 to 15 pips, Raja Bank, secure that shit and let the rest run. That's it. And ever since then, I've been profitable. No word of a lie. You look a little angry today. Come on, gold. I have 2 years now watching the stream every single day and 8 months of market fluidity, and I can't explain how much I have improved my trading. Oh, best decision ever. Oh, keep making it, doing, man. This losses are part of the process. I'm getting around 8 to 10% consistently. Wow, very, very nice. Daniel Savage has a funding program, but he probably won't pay you. I don't know. Very, very sketchy person. What helps you to avoid questioning your strategy? The thing that helps me from questioning my strategy is to get inspired by the wins I've had in the past. Like a lot of people, they don't look at their wins in the past. They focus on their losses in the past. When you focus on your losses in the past, you go back in that negative energy, you go back in that negative zone. So whenever I want to get inspired, I look at my wins in the past and I'm like, oh, I did this before. I made $2,000 before, or I made $200 before, $500 before. And if I can, and if I did that, I can, what the fuck is going on over here? And I can do this again now. I never look at my losses and say, oh, I lost this over here. No, I learn from the losses. So that's the best thing you can do. Just look at your wins, be inspired from those wins. So when I've been having losses here in London session, I've just been looking at my wins, and most of my wins have been in this New York, and I'm just like, okay, perfect. Maybe I just want to try to trade in New York session now. I'm thinking about starting 10 $100 accounts, one bullet each, $500 full margin on each account, but with a clean setup. 10 $100 accounts, I think you should start. So that means you have $1,000, right? I think you should start with $200, and if you can turn that 200 into 400, then deposit the rest. Some dude DM'd me on Slack and told me your strategy doesn't work. He's been doing Forex since 2013 and can't make any more. I told him he's a shit trader and he blocked me. Oh. I have a physical magic keys. Can I get an on-screen one? Yes. Yes, you can. Why you didn't trade US stocks? Because same momentum? I don't know. US stocks I just don't understand them at all. I don't understand them. I don't have any interest in them. Probably that's why. RT Money. I'm envious of your trading acumen and your hair transplant. How much did it set you back? I'm considering. It was for around, I would say, 2,400 euros. 2,400 euros. And then you add the flight tickets. I think the tickets were like $3,400. First class though, from Canada to Turkey and back. So yeah. But look, man, it came out pretty amazing, right? Look at this. Can't even tell.
Morning.
Hey, good morning, good morning.
My brother.
I've been alone all this time.
How you been, my brother?
Good, good. I've been doing amazing.
That's awesome, brother.
You haven't been alone. I've been sitting here for the last half hour.
Oh,
Hey, Ted, where you been, brother? Holy.
cut the unicorn over here.
I should kick you off the screen, Roger. I've been in the background.
Oh, yeah.
Kev's here too.
Kevin is too.
Bro. What's everybody doing this morning?
Doing amazing. Was trying to catch this gold move here, but so far it's just looks like not gonna happen here today.
now slowly but surely, gold has been creating this wedge structure, and it's creating highs. When you go to the 4 hours, basically. Oh, but basically, okay, like
Hold on, hold on, hold on.
I mean, I don't have the option to do the
Hmm.
rotation thing, but whatever.
Okay. Ho-
Um,
now, now you do.
cool. All right. So basically, the things that I'm looking at gold basically based on this structure right here. I don't know if Ted can help me on this area right here. This basically is the starting of the weekly candle, right? This was the basically the low for that weekly, 1771 point something, 1770 basically that area, and then we created a absolute high for the weekly. But since then, since that absolute high on the weekly, every time 4 hour that has been trying to break that previous structure is creating new lows. Intra inside this previous structure is creating that low, and as you can see here, this was the last time the 4 hour created a low, retesting this area basically. Now that 4 hour slowly but surely is closing that small range in there, so leaving basically less volume for us to trade during New York session. Best options has been during Asian session, in my opinion. Trying to catch those lows. Other than that, it will be really dangerous trying to trade inside this area until you don't have something like this, or maybe break to the downside, retest basically this previous low right here, and then you have a best shot going all the way up to here. I am, to be honest, I'm not looking for a heavy drop on gold toward the 1750. I'm more on a bullish move because that liquidity from that previous weekly candle, the flash crash, didn't give me any confidence that we're gonna retest those lows basically. Imagine of this area right here, like for example, this area, for example, like if this area doesn't exist, that flash crash for me doesn't exist. What is basically looking good in here is a continuation to create new highs. Why? Because of this previous rejection. Basically, this area right here is your 1750. So I know that gold may give us a pullback to before a continuation to 1750, but hyperinflation is a big issue in the U.S. So from with that in mind, I think the dollar is decreasing in value day by day. As intraday traders, as scalpers, we want to get the most we can during a daily, a daily candle. And dailies, you can pull up the daily chart and you can see how the dailies are forming there. So there's a it's a painful way to trade basically based on the higher time frames. The daily is kind of doesn't give me any information where are we going so far. Look at this daily doji. This candle was the first bearish candle. That's why I was thinking, okay, what happened at the break of this area right here? We can easily go to the 1750. If we don't have that move today, like, but we're gonna be paying attention how the daily candle is looking, right? If the daily candle closed bearish today below that previous rejection on the daily, most likely, oh, this thing is so the daily will give me a continuation for Monday. Why? Because we know that when Friday we have a bearish move, most of the times on Monday is a continuation, and this is basically the area that I want to see gold coming back to give me prime entries if I want to continue looking for buys.
Hmm.
Anything breaking below 1750 or 1760, man, to this area right here. But this flash crash in here, I don't see this whole area as a possible trading zone. Basically, I'm more looking for this type of area. Previous rejection 1830s and aiming for the 1850. That's the long term, obviously. But intraday, daily candles, yesterday was the first time that we created that bearish candle. Really nice bearish candle for an easy continuation. But on the 4 hour, you don't have that confirmation, basically.
So in other words, just hold your guns and wait for next week.
Yes, exactly that. That's gonna be the best way you to trade. That was. I mean, capital preservation is gonna be key today. I don't see anything today,
Take
and like I said,
cells. Take
I didn't
cells,
want to
and
cut. I didn't want to cut Corbin off.
I know. I said the
Yeah,
same thing. I said take cells. I just showed you. We had the rejection off the daily.
yeah. I mean, that's the thing. The previous daily is the one that is giving me the idea that we have some sort of downside, but so far it's kind of crazy.
Because my idea is off the daily, you have that rejection off the top. If we hold that drop, this is going to break down, and then you can probably take sells below, I would say 1779 around there if you want to be comfortable. But this daily candle will probably flip bearish because we've already rejected that upside. So that's what we'll be waiting for right now.
That's the problem with me. Looking at the weekly, my turning point for this weekly candle is 1780. So if you want to take sells from here, basically you will need at least a 30 pips stop loss, and then you're aiming for that 1780, basically the previous rejection.
Yep.
But that area is pretty tough because that's the opening on the weekly, and that's your strongest support in there. That's why price is just dancing around it. It's like dancing a tango in there. It's moving from side to side, but it's failing to break below that 1780, basically. So New York, if New York session give us a break below that 1780, yeah, go for it. Other than that, I see it pretty hard to trade in this range, basically. But it may work. I mean,
When the agent session started, that's what I initial thought as well. Like with this daily move up, like okay, like what's the probability we can continue down to fill this wick because of these rejections over here? But when I came towards New York, saw this tiny move up, and I'm like, well, I mean, let's see. We got NY open in about 20 minutes here as well. So technically speaking, if this is a rejection happening, and if this does close like a solid bearish candle, we could get that move down. Because this candle is respecting the high of the previous candle and breaking the low of the previous candle, starting a possible downtrend. Probably opportunities for full margin sells over here.
sounds like a great,
Yeah,
like a good idea.
yeah, that would make sense. I mean, we had a confirmation from the unicorn over here, so
Yeah.
that's double confirmations at that time.
As soon as he pressed the button, we're good.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah, I think you're going to find at 8 a.m. we're going to get a drop. I think this is the beginning, and I think for the rest of the morning we'll probably have bearish movement. It just, I mean, every Friday's been very erratic over the last couple of weeks. So I think if this, like you said, Raja, if this 30-minute candle holds, I think next hour is going to be pretty big for everybody. And I think we can see us dropping into 1779, even 1777.
Yeah, but now, no, I agree with that, because now when we look on the daily, we're like, okay, that drop is going to be 89 pip drop on Friday? Of course, gold has done much more than that in the past.
Yeah, it's just I see this, right? So you see this rejection here, rejection here, rejection here, and then finally this rejection over here, which was the lowest rejection. This pop up, I think if we were to go bullish today, I think we would have needed a rejection from this downside. So you might find if we do flip bullish, this candle has to drop a bit more and then pull up. So that's, I think that would be your sort of sign. If you think you're going to go, if we think we're going bullish, similar to what Kerwin says, we have to drop back into this zone pretty heavy, reject, and then drive. But I mean, that's a lot to do on a Friday.
Yeah. Pretty much.
All right, looks like over 1,000 people are in sells at this point over here. Makes sense, makes sense. I think if we all take sells, we can really make this move by a pip. We can be happy about covering the commissions. Looks like all the markets are going to get a hammer. Question is how much of a hammer? I think with NY open, that hammer is going to increase in value. So this idea over here, right here, this would make perfect sense. Let's see how that looks on the daily.
And if you look at the hourly too now, go take a look at the hourly. You can see that we rejected that 1785 area, and that was the zone right over here. This area over here. So it looks like that was sort of the last tap. I think this candle here was a fake out, obviously, and it's going to start to drop.
1782 is my entry for the buy. I'm in, just driving it to the sell point. Oh, 1782. What about GJ today? GJ is taking a rest here today. GJ is cozy in his bed with his blankets on, and it's just with his white noise on, and GJ is just relaxing here today. You can see it's just consolidating. Do you think it would retest 1800? 1800 is, I don't know. I think for 1800 we need to break above 1795, 1796, which is a very strong resistance here in the 4-hour time frame. We have a lot of issues that gold needs to address going to the top side to retest 1800. Tenant Kerwin, don't know nothing. It's probably pattern, butterfly pattern, combined diamond, and let's not forget about today's position of the moon. Yes, that makes sense. The moon is in retrograde with the Jupiter's third moon. That should continue pushing it bearish. So these moon waves, like they happen once a month?
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, because I've been reading you guys' conversations every time we have big moves, and I'm like, what are they talking about? You know, and every time there's a big move, there's always conversation about, oh yeah, you know, this was over here, this was over here. Astrological numbers. Something's gonna happen. Are you trying to force a trade? This is not your rules. Yes. Gold is a buy, not a sell. Shake my head. Oh well. We'll see. See what happens. I downloaded MT5. Once I link trader's domain to the market watch, it won't show any tickets, hide all, grayed out. Any suggestions? I think you need to contact support. Do you feel like your mind game is different now that you are having a bad week? No, not at all. I mean, as long as you have your risk managed, you know, things should still be pretty good. Can you ask Kervin and Ted where they have been if they don't mind? I think they've been on vacation.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
permanent vacation.
There you go. Permanent vacation. That's the best. I spend 90% of my day watching your videos and your stories. You changed the way I look at the charts now. Thank you. By the way, you focus mainly on GJ and gold. Yes. Yes, sir. Would the trade be invalid if gold breaks above 1786? 1786, yes. The whole idea is that if it will continue on the higher time frame, the daily, to continue down. This should be the start at this point right here. And the 30-minute candle, the next 30-minute candle should look something like this coming down. Yeah, I think this is going to be a pretty awesome move over here if it does happen.
Yeah, at 8 a.m. I think if it does push, that's what we're going to get. That drop all the way down. But we'll wait and see.
All right, let's take a look at this chart over here by Tom. Tom said trend is bearish, so sells would be much better. Makes sense. The 10-pip range for the buys is very small, but if the move happens, high volume time. Yeah, buys on pound yen are very, very, very tough. Sells are way better. So your idea below this area, 149.200, that's the same idea I have here on pound yen below this area. Way easier than buys. Hey, Raja brother, look at AUD USD, please. AUD USD. Let's take a look here. Pretty. Haven't seen AUD USD in a while. Oh, wow. It's still dropping over here. Man, these lockdowns are killing the Australian dollar. I'm behind on rent. Someone help me. Oh. Yeah, come to the social platform over here. Community is going to help you in one way or the other. Probably sell your phone, you know, probably contribute to the rent. How can I grow a $69 account? I have no idea. Has there ever been 2 flash crashes in 1 month? No, that's not healthy for the market. Seems like a lot of people who are more concerned about your account monthly result than yourself. Yes. Most of the community is more worried about everyone else. Alright, come on, gold. 10 minutes left for the NY Open. Can we get this 40 pip move here on gold? Could you have a look at BTC as well? Let's take a look at BTC. BTC. Haven't seen BTC in a while. BTC USD. 46,000. Looks like we did not break below 31,000. Nice. 60,000 is right over here. Whenever Raja talks about charging Gulag, my heart pounds. Alright, come on gold. Starting the NY Open. This is the perfect background music for that. How does Ted adds to his winning trades? We will never know. Are you mad about crypto because the money you lost in it? No. Being mad at that won't make the money come back. Do pro traders trade on vacation? Sure. I mean, if they want to. Gold sell will hit stop loss because price just made a manipulation to buyer side to people exit buy and to think price to move down, and then people start looking sell. Once more, it will continue buy. Mr. Manan Joshidi. If that happens, you will win a free Market Fluidity DVD with that with that depiction of price.
Like we said, we just have to wait till 8 o'clock. I mean, this is the problem. People are marrying analysis. We're giving opportunity and probability. We're just scoping out a plan, right? So when people turn around and say, how could I have caught that move? We're letting you know where you could possibly catch that move and where it could go to. It doesn't mean it's going to go there. I think there's a big disconnect between people actually executing and understanding why we're executing and, you know, being patient and letting it set. You know, nobody said take sells right now. People were saying, you know, watch, if you're going to take a sell, obviously you have to look at the daily candle if you want to try and take a sell at this point. But then is your risk going to be managed? But when is the opportune time to actually look at the market? 8 a.m. in the next, you know, 10 minutes or so. People have to just calm down a bit. It can go either way at this point. But I mean, once again, you have to plan for both sides.
I just turned 18, so I got a Hennessy bottle for myself, here to celebrate with you. Oh, nice. You need to be 21 to buy and consume alcohol. Well, in Quebec, you can be 17 and do that. Right? 17? Yeah, 17.
Hi, Raja, Uncle Ted. Just a question. So the 8 a.m. candle. So what would be your strategy? How would you enter that? Because I believe when New York opens with a lot of volume. So how would you enter, like straight away
Well,
sells, or you would wait for the upper
you'd have to
wick?
wait for structure, right? What is your plan? I think this is another problem people have is they're like, where do I enter? It's like, well, what structure do you look for that makes sense to you? Are you looking for support to be held at 1785? Then you would look for a rejection from the downside to drive up, and then you would say, okay, well, where is my target at that point? Right? So these are questions that can't be answered unless we understand what is your plan, what is your risk, what do you normally do, what have you back tested that makes sense, and what are you comfortable with? There's a lot of variables that are involved, right? So someone could turn around and say, well, I'm going to look now because this 30-minute candle is rejecting the downside here. I'm looking for another rejection into this zone, right? Because this current 30-minute candle could be making a zone right here. So I'm going to say, okay, I have to wait at 8 a.m. for another candle to drop down here to take buys back up here. Or what do? I wait for this area here to be broken and then take positions, right? So it's what is your comfort level, and then how are you placing the story of your trade together? So what is your story? Are you saying I'm going to enter on the 15-minute candle and I'm looking to take an hour range? So this may be the top of the hour range. So this is going to be, you know, my target up here? Or am I looking at the 4 hour saying, okay, well, the 4 hour is going to reject. So now my new candle, I'm expecting it to continue go up, or I'm going to have it pop down and drive further down, right? So you have to be able to tell that story. Asking when to execute doesn't help you because we don't know what your story is. Like, what are you trying to do? Where are you trying to be in the market? What's your plan? Right? There's a lot of information that you've left out, and a lot of people do this. You know, generally, is they'll say, okay, well, when should I execute? It's like, I don't know. Do you want to execute now? Execute now. Your stop loss is here, or your stop loss is here, right? If you're going up, you say to yourself, okay, well, I'm going to take a trade right now. Anticipation of going up. What's my risk, and what's my reward? That's basically what it comes down to. Or if I believe we're going down, okay, I'm going to execute right here. So I'm going to believe that we're going right to here, and my risk is probably going to be up to here. So those are your options. And I think people have to get used to that idea of understanding how to map out your trade and then executing on that.
Thank you.
No problem.
Oh, Mr. Mirza. Mr. Amjad Mirza. Alright, let's take a look over here. What computer do you use to learn live stream, Zoom meeting, and everything else? So, just a regular computer. Bought it for $1,000, added a new RAM last year, and that's about it. Nothing fancy, to be honest. Raja brother, instead of two currencies, why don't you trade other currencies? Because the idea is to focus on just one or two currencies and really be a master of just one currency. So you can come back and say, okay, you know what? I'm the master of this currency, or I know this currency very, very, very well. That's the whole idea. Um, can let's see here. What do you think about GBP USD? I think the question is, what do you think about GBP USD? I think you need to send a chart. We're going to take a look at that chart, and then we can deduce that, okay, whether, like, if that analysis makes sense or not. Have you traded US30 consistently? No, have not done that at all. Would all the money buy a 10K laptop, 3 screen? Oh, I already have 2 4K screens. Can you show us what TED looks like? Oh, sure. I think this is going to be the accurate picture right over here. Just like that. Exactly like
Pretty
that.
much.
Yeah. Hey guys, how's it going? Jolly good fellow. Um, uh, what's this here? Should we start a demo real account if we are confident? I think go with a real account, 100%. Go with a real account. Um, start with $100, $200, and see where your confidence level is. Like, once you really start to get confident, then you can add more money to it, and then you can say, okay, you know what, I turned $100 to $200, or my $500 went to like $700 or $800, and now I can add more money because, I know what my plan is. I know, like, how to use my risk management, so I can use more money now at this point. Do you know astrology analysis from Gemma, Giorati, New Moon, Identic with? I have no idea what that is. You should keep doing NY sessions instead of London session because London session has a lot of fake outs. Yes, that's correct. Do you have curve monitors? Yes. Are they worth getting over standard monitors? I'm used to curves now. I mean, it's pretty good. Do you think it's time to buy gold? Well, it depends if you're getting married and you want to buy gold, but other than that, I have no idea. Oh, this is NY open at this point now. NY open. Technically, this is a stronger bearish candle than the previous bullish candle. So this new candle should respect the high if it's going to continue giving those drops. So your risk, whatever your risk is going to be, if you're trying to take the sell, should be right over here. If you want to be aggressive, safe, should be up over here. And you're looking at TP targets down over here, 1783, probably 1780. Good luck, my birds. Are you staying with NY session from now? I'll try. I had nothing to do today, so that's why I'm doing the NY session now. Do you advise regular deposit to your account apart from profits? Yes. I mean, that's totally up to you. How much you want to risk, how much you want to put in, stuff like that.
Yeah.
Oh. Do you advise regular... Rajabhai, can you teach me how to manage risk. Yeah, just don't put the amount you're willing to lose, basically. Oh, oh, what else happening over there? Looks like looks like someone's doing some push-ups. All right. So I'm going to be here till 8:30, another half hour, and then I'm going to call it a day. Let's take a look at the calendar over here. Fridays are days where people lose a lot, so just be very, very, very careful on a Friday today. Sounds like two dudes playing. Oh, do you advise regular deposits to your account apart from profits? It's totally up to you how much you want to risk. But pound yen is nothing happening here today. Are you still in gold buys? No, I'm in no trade. No trade at all. Was hoping we would continue down to break below 1783 to continue down, but it's, I mean, if that happens, that sell is going to make sense, but so far it is what it is. The market fluidity guy was right. Well, if you do break above 1786, I guess he was right. Do you play any video games? No. Sometimes I do. Why do you like pound yen so much? Because it's a easy pair to trade, I think. If you just wait for a push, you know, less fake outs, much easier than gold, so it makes sense sometimes. I can do perfect analysis, but when it comes to execution, I F things up. Well, you gotta take a look at your executions, and then you gotta see where could you have had a better execution, you know, and point that out. The best thing about hindsight is that hindsight is 2020, and you're always going to see the perfect thing after it happens, you know, and then you can take note from that and then work on that for the next time. I'm from India. Can you suggest some good brokers? I have no idea what the hell's going on in India. Just no clue at all, you know. So if you have crypto, I think some good brokers. Traders Domain, pretty good. Domain Market is pretty good. You have crypto brokers. If you have crypto, I think. Oh, it sucks. So many brokers don't take Canada. Yes, that's true. Where is the guy who felt gold will drop? He's around here. Buy G. What's this? Buy GJ right now. Oh, probably not. Are you back to Canada? No. Canada is far, far. Canada is oceans away from me at this point. Oceans away. Since London Open today, we have only moved about 30-35 pips. So if nothing happens now for NY Open, we can expect volume at NYSE. Yes. I would think so, yes. Let's take a look on the 4 hour. 4 hours in an ugly range. I advise that you work on US 30. Huh, I don't know. You can't expect volume in August. That's correct. You're still in the same hemisphere as Canada. That's correct. Lately, I really hate trading gold. It is really volatile. That is also correct. I have not gotten my withdrawals from Dominion markets and it has been 2 months. That is incorrect. Hey Raja, actually you can contact support. What are the things you look for in your loss to learn from it? Sometimes the entries are early. Sometimes you have early entries. Sometimes, I still make some mistakes where I overlook the higher time frame, and you can really get involved into the smaller time frames, just like this right over here, right? Let's say you're looking at sells here on gold, and if you're looking at the 1 hour time frame, you can see that the 1 hour time frame moved up over here. This previous candle closed bearish, and since it made a top wick, it has to make a lower wick. Now, will that lower wick would be a continuation down till 1782 and 1780? But at the same time, if you're looking at the smaller time frames here, I think a much better entry would be below this minor support we formed for price to really continue down. So sometimes, if someone enters a sell, let's say right over here, and price moves up, and then you kind of get a little lose confidence. So then you can look back and say, okay, instead of me taking a sell at this point right here, before we had any good confirmation, maybe I could have waited for a break below this minor support to have a clean candle to the left hand side for price to really continue moving. Right, so those are little things you can look at when you have losses, right? You can look back at the chart, and if price does move down, you can say, okay, you know what, that did make sense at that time. What's the biggest withdrawal y'all did at DM so far, not including yours? I think 55,000, something like that, 55,000. We've had some really good traders who really smashed the markets on the platform. On Wanda data feed, wick has already made. The reason why the wick has already made over there is because the spread is higher, right? So you gotta really also understand why the wick has made over there and not over here, because the spreads are lower. You can see right here, 3 pip right over here. And if you look at that other feed, it's a bigger spread. So the bid and ask price are much wider, so that's why you see a wick. Did you buy his course? Is it good? I'm just watching his YouTube and free course, and I love him. Oh, I love you too. I already have talked to support and don't never fix it. That's impossible. If something never gets fixed, it gets escalated, and there are ways to send payments back. So that's actually very wrong. I'm a scalper. I tend to take many trades in a day. Does Magic Key allow multiple TP levels on a single trade? Yes. You can get multiple TP levels through Magic Keys. Well, looks like the cells are not formulating themselves here.
Yeah, nothing's going on. I think if you're going to take buys, I still think you need a rejection from that area again to go up. I don't think if you take buys with this candle, it's going to be too good.
Rejection from 1783 again, or 1780?
Well, just if, I think this candle needs to it needs to look this way. We need to go that way.
Yes.
Going this way doesn't look good to me.
Yeah, because at any point it can just drop down to make that lower wick.
That's right.
Raja reading everyone else's comments apart from mine. FFS. So I try to submit my ID, but it crashes every time. Use another browser. Alright, let's take a look at. Oh, Pound Yen is still there. Hello, Raja. Eric here. What's up? May I ask your favor on GBPAUD? What's your view on Aussie dollar weakness? Will be on all-time high this time, will be reaching peak 1.94. Yeah, I think so far that country is in a lockdown over here. So I don't think it's going to be coming to, oh, it is pound AUD. Yeah, I think we should continue till 1.95. It looks like this is the weekly time frame. 4 hour. Yeah, we're just consolidating. It's Friday. I think the best thing to do is to wait for Monday over here. Got resistance, got a support, we got a range at this point now. Well, it looks like gold is doing what it does best. Can you let me know your opinion of my GJ trade using your impulse entry? All right. There was no GJ trade, so I want to know where you took that GJ trade. Let's take a look over here. Oh, impulse entry, risk 20 pips, reward 45. Beautiful. Yeah, this happened yesterday, right? Yeah, yesterday. Yesterday we had this happen during London session. Very nicely done. Price just disregarded all these consolidation areas, just continue dropping. Would you consider selling GJ if it breaks the low and closes below? Yes. 149, 200, I think it's going to be a very, very good sell. But it'll make, I mean, we'll have to wait and see what happens. Hey, in the future, is Magic Keys will work on mobile? What do you think? I think in future, we're going to have an update, and that update is going to lock you out of your MetaTrader after you take 2 or 3 trades, or after you lose a certain percentage, just for your own benefit. You know, when you're out in the boot, and you drink too much, and the cops take you away just for your own well-being, that's what's going to happen over here. You lose too much, Magic Keys locks you out. And then we're going to get angry emails. Hey, you want to trade? There's a good setup. Hey, there's a good setup. And the reply is going to be, no, you dummy. You've over-risked. You over-traded. Time to just sit back for the next 12 hours. Yeah, I think we should start to implement that. Ted gave that idea like a long time ago. I think it's about time we release that update.
Yeah, like a cooling off period.
Yeah, time to cool down, buddy. Too many clicking happening here today. Can we disable that function though? No. There's no way to disable that function. First, you're going to input the time you want that to be reset, and once it's on, you can't change it. You won't be able to change it. You won't be able to do anything about it unless you uninstall MetaTrader and reinstall it again. And by that time, that magical trade idea would have been gone anyway. Hello, Haina's in the chat. Hello there, Jivan's friends. How much minimum percentage profits you make by following 10 to 15 pip profits? Oh, pips? I think it depends on how much you're risking at the same time. It depends on how much you're risking. I mean, if you're risking, let's say 1% a day, 2% a day, you're getting like 10 pips, 15 pips with like, you know, the same amount of stop loss, and you're making 1 to 2%, you know. I mean, you can easily make like, you know, 5% a month, 3% a month, 10% a month. Are you going to trade the CAD event? No. No, sir. Is there any sort of discount on virtual Magic Keys if I own 3 physical versions? I emailed the contact like 4 days ago, but no one answers. Probably because it's only 30 bucks. I mean, if you bought 3 physical versions, I mean, it's 30 bucks. Come on. It's $30. People email support all the time. Hey, can we get a discount on the on-screen version? I mean, and we're just like, man, it's 30 bucks. Come on. It's 30 bucks. I heard Taurus still waiting at XRP at 15 cents. Oh, do you have any idea what's going on behind the scenes? Like why this move did happen? I have no clue. Gold decided to retrace. I think if it's going to move down and did a bit of a liquidity grab, I think a huge move is going to come later on with the NYC. Gold going up and down, yes. If I have two desktops next to each other, can I use Magic Key at the same time? You would need the USB in both desktops, but I don't think that's going to work. If the current kind of flips, can we go for a sell in gold, bro? I think sell in gold is going to be below this area here. Better sell 1782. Because then you have clean candles straight down. Yo, Raja, did you ever deal with bad psychology at the beginning? How did you develop it? Yes. Best way to develop bad psychology is by overtrading and over risking all the time. That's the best way to do that. All right. Are you going to the Forex Expo in Dubai? You know, I planned on going there, but they've banned flights from Pakistan for some reason. Yeah, I had full plans to go over there, but they've banned flights because of India, man. Yeah, let's see over here. Let's see if they have any updates. They have some updates for August. Suspension of flights to and from Kabul. Well, no kidding. Got Taliban over there. Kingdom of suspension of flights near rebels in Dubai. Yeah, there's no information over here. Actually, now I'm really interested because they banned flights till the 28th July. What's this? Some guy's video over here. Oh, the revised travel guidelines for Pakistan. Okay, there we go. Time to go to Dubai here for the weekend. The banned till 28th July. Meanwhile, Sharjah allowed Pakistani passengers to travel without a rapid PCR test. Oh, due to absence of testing facility that covers 100,000 passengers. Oh, nice. 11th August. Beautiful. Can we get Ted as a guest next Friday? He is a guest today. My uncle traveled to Dubai from Lahore this week. So there we go. Slowly but surely we should be coming down. Oh, there we go. About to break these lows here for price to continue dropping. NYSE move to continue pushing bearish. Let's take a look at this chart over here. Oh, nice. Someone executed on this sell over here. Very nice.
So if people looked at that sell on gold, you can then now determine how you would have taken that trade. So what was the opportunity? The opportunity was as long as we don't break above 1785, we should push down. And then what you would do is you'd go into your 15-minute time frame and your 5-minute time frame, and you'll see that the 15-minute time frame didn't break above and the 5-minute time frame didn't break above, so that you would push down. And then like Raja said, you would hit 1783, 1782. So now as a trader, your range would have been this, right? So your stop loss would have been above this area here, and your take profit would have been below here, because once again, this is, if you draw this out very straightforward, this is a resistance area, right? Because once again, remember, one candle isn't a change in direction, right? So even though this candle came above here, you still consider this an area of resistance. Similar to over here, this is an area of support. Even though this candle broke below, this candle maybe broke below, you could see that was the area of support where we held. So if you're going to trade this range, you're going to say, okay, providing we don't break this area here, we're going down to here. But once we hit this area here, I have to make a decision. Am I going to hold or am I going to get out? Most likely you're going to get out, because once again, we're still early on the I guess the New York Open or the North American Open, and we still need to wait to see what our larger timeframes do, because we still haven't finished a 30-minute candle yet. So when you go into the 30-minute candles now, you'll see that we've created probably like an indecision. So we have this indecision. So now what you say to yourself is this, similar to what we said earlier, is we have a rejection over here. This zone, if this zone is going to break out, we need to take a trade above this area over here, but we need a candle that comes into this area here. So this is going to be your new zone right here. This would be your new zone. And you would say to yourself, okay, providing a candle breaks out of this area going up, my next area of resistance is here, and that's where my trade would be. But I need proper structure here, because now what you say is, well, where's my stop loss? Your stop loss is going to be all the way over here. It's a little too wide to go up here. So you need to figure out, when a candle creates a downside and then drives up, now you can put your stop loss right here, and then you're moving up that way. So your stop loss is tighter. If your stop loss is down here, this is your risk. Now your reward has to be obviously at least double that, right?
Oh. Yeah, I was really hoping for it to kind of like close below this area to continue down, but I guess that's not going to happen here anytime soon.
Yeah, I think gold lately has been very choppy, and it's slipped a lot of times. I've been trading gold the last month, and I've been slipped a lot of times on my exits and my entries.
Oh,
It's getting very, very choppy with regards to trading gold. These kind of moves here, where you have liquidity grabs or straight moves, quick moves down, like you really have to have either a dual monitor setup where you can have multiple charts open, because you'll miss things so fast. And I really don't think this is a pair that people should be trading if they're just starting out. It's just way too wild, and you're just going to get way frustrated.
way too wild, extremely wild over here.
Yeah, so now the person that was asking how would we find an entry, so we said about this earlier, this rejection, remember we wanted a rejection from the downside, this would now be a safer buy going on the way up, if that's what we wanted to do. It's just, once again, we had that rejection, and I think that's what you'd be looking for. So we have this rejection here. So earlier the candle looked like this, right? And we said, people are saying, should we take buys? No, because that's where we got that drive down. And now you have this liquidity grab here, if you want to call it that. you have to wait now for this zone to break, right? Because essentially every time you have one of these, this is a zone. You need to have that zone break, because if it doesn't break correctly, so actually this is a good example. So this zone over here, right? You see the next candle up over here? That's where, you have an opportunity to take a buy, and then you would say to yourself, okay, I'm going to this level over here, and you can see where we top out and then pull back down. The key here is this zone has been broken because now this candle hasn't tapped back into that zone. The same thing has to happen over here. We need this candle to, the next candle to tap away from that zone to go up, or the next candle is going to just do this. It's just going to fill that zone over there, and we're going to end up over here, right? So when people ask, what's the difference between a wick fill and a wick rejection? This is a rejection. This over here could possibly be a fill, similar to what we have here, right? It filled at that point. So you might find that something might fill in that regard. So you have to be very, very cautious when you're trading gold especially, but you have to also understand the way your candle finishes, like Raj always says, is very important, because otherwise you're just going to get stuck, right? Like if this finishes bearish, chances are the next candle is going to go down. If it finishes bullish, then your probability of a candle going up is greater, right? You can't say this is a rejection and then take a buy, because we don't have confirmation where this rejected, so you could say that we're moving on the way up at that point, where this is still finishing bearish, so we don't know exactly what's happening yet.
Yeah, very tough. So I'm going to save everyone the pain over here and call it a day. Hope no one gets married to gold over here on a Friday here, because this Friday can be very, very deadly here for some people if you do continue on with gold. Try to really see where it goes, but
yeah, and I think one thing we always say is, if you've had a good week, don't ruin it on a Friday.
yeah, no.
If you've made 5%, 3% this week, don't kill yourself on a Friday. Just risk. If you need to trade, take 1% of your account that you made this week or whatever, move that over to a new account and just trade with that, and just trade penny lots, trade whatever you're going to do, and just use that 1%. And if you blow that 1% account, at least you traded on Friday, you felt good about yourself, you got it out of your system. If you won, then you can go back and replace that money into your other account. Don't do something stupid on a Friday.
Yes, with that, I'm going to call it a day, everyone. Take care. Have a great weekend. Ted, thank you. Take care. Have a great weekend. And everyone else, we shall see you Monday.
Thank you.
Thank you, Roger.
Thank you.